All right, everybody. We are here at Hungaroring, and we are doing our first night race, our only night race for this season. First night race as a league, and this is going to be a little bit different tonight. This is one of the Friday night practice races. This is race one. What we're going to do a little different is we're going to ride on board a lot more because in the trackside cameras it can be a little difficult to tell what's going on and to be able to follow the action. So we're going to spend more time on board with these drivers. We will try to get the start of the race from the external view so we can see what's going on the best we can. And then once things settle down a little bit, we'll jump on board and kind of hop around from driver to driver and see things from a first person's perspective. This race is a very interesting race this weekend. Now, tomorrow night's race is going to be very interesting to see. This one also, but the reason is on Thursday, either Wednesday, I think it was Thursday, the major patch came out for ACC, and it changed the handling of the cars, it changed the tire physics, it changed the grip levels, it changed tire temps, it changed the way cars interact with curbing. It changed a lot. It was a major update, and it happened right in the middle of our race week. So these guys have had to adjust on the fly. Some have adjusted better than others. Everybody's kind of had to adjust in their own way. So this is going to be very, very interesting. As always, the pack is very tight. As you can see, our running order, we have Jay Vroman, Kyle Macedo, Alex Moda, Jesse Albert, Andre Marchishin, John Snow, Mike Doherty, David Macedo, Joe Marsiglia, Pedro Perez, Evan Miller. I don't know Mr. Driveman's first name. I think it's Nick, but I could be wrong, so we're just going to call him Driveman. And then Samuel Rock pulling up the rear there in 13th. So we've got a very interesting race tonight. The top 8 or so were within about a second of each other during practice and qualifying, so it's a very close field. It is going to be very interesting to see this race unfold. You can see there what the view looks like from on board. It's very much tunnel vision. These guys are gonna, some drivers, it seems like it actually improves their driving because all they can see is what they need to see, and it actually makes them better in a way. Other drivers seem a little more on edge because of the fact that you can't see what's coming until it's pretty close, so that can be difficult. But all of these guys have really impressed with how well they've handled racing at night so far. In this particular qualifying session, the top 4 were amazingly fast. Roman, Macedo, Albert, and Moda all showed a ton of speed, and it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds as the race goes on. Remember, on Friday night, our races are 2 30-minute races. So 2 30-minute races, no pit stop, just a 30-minute sprint, if you will. So for us, that's a sprint because our Saturday races are an hour long. So this race is going to be 30 minutes non-stop, and we'll see what these guys are able to do with that. You see them coming down the front here, trying to get it formed up, prepare for the start of the race. And there we go, green, green, green. So everybody's kind of evenly spaced at the moment, but you can see some guys are making some moves. We got Andre, looks like he's looking at the middle there, but 3 wide's probably a bad idea. You got Alex Moda on the inside of Jesse Albert there. Jay Roman slips out in front with Kyle Macedo right behind him. Andre Marchishin is right behind these two, really close on the back of Moda there. Mike Doherty just behind him with John Snow on the inside of him. Now Snow's on the outside. David Macedo just behind those guys, and Joe Marsiglia just behind that. Behind Marsiglia, it looks like Evan Miller is there in the Audi, followed by Pedro Perez. Mr. Driveman is in 12th right now with Samuel Rock behind him. So let's get back to the front. Vroman was really, really fast here. You see Jesse's having a little bit of a challenge here from Andre. And Alex Moda has slipped back to 5th place behind Andre. Now, Moda was one of the fastest guys on the track, showed really good speed here. So we'll see what he can do with Andre and Jesse. All right, let's take a ride on board with Alex. So you got Andre Marchishin in front of him. Right in front of that is Jesse Albert. So this is 5th place, chasing 4th and 3rd. We're 1 lap into the race, coming down the front stretch here into this really long braking zone. Let's take a look up front. We got Kyle Macedo, who's all over Jay Vroman. Kyle has shown a ton of speed at this track. Really, really fast. He's able to figure it out with that McLaren. I think some of these guys are going to look forward to whatever night race or night races we have next season, because some of these guys have really come to life in the dark. They really like racing at night, apparently, so maybe they didn't know they did, but they're actually really good at it. You see Kyle there trying to keep in touch with Roman. Come back to Marchishin, still on Albert. You can see the leaders right up front there, so they're not getting away either. This is quite a battle we got going on here for the top 5. Alex Moda in that Porsche, you know, he's got a little bit of a disadvantage down the long front stretch. The Porsche just doesn't quite have the top end that a couple of these other cars do. But in some of these other slower corners, the Porsche is really fast, and Alex has shown a lot of speed through some of these tight sections of the track. Really, really good acceleration out of the corners, and part of that is the car, part of that is the driver. He's very good at racing with a good flow and keeping good momentum through those sweeping turns back and forth, and you see it here, making really good time. Meanwhile, up front, Jesse Albert. Okay, something happened there. Let's take a look back. So he's quite a ways behind Macedo and Roman. Kyle right on the back of Roman. Oh, and Kyle just sends it up the inside, gets a piece of Roman. Roman manages to hang on to it, but that's going to make Kyle the new leader with Roman, and he's got Jesse on the inside on the next turn. Kyle goes off the track. Jesse Albert is going to inherit the lead of the race. Kyle falls all the way back. So Albert's in the lead. Roman falls back. I can't tell what position he's in. Looks like about 4th place. Roman back to 4th. So what a mess all that was. A little bit of a melee there between Roman and Kyle Macedo. And now you got Marchician, who's suddenly all the way up in 2nd place and challenging Jesse for the lead. You see the gap between Moda and Vroman there. It's a little bit of a gap. Meanwhile, Moda right up on the back of Marchician. You see the sparks coming off of Jesse's car out in front. I spent a lot of time riding on board with Moda during practice and qualifying, and he is extremely consistent around this track. He has got this car dialed in for this track. He hits his marks every lap, lap after lap. Really does a great job around here. He's going to be hard to beat. You see him all over Marchician, just looking for a place that he can get around him. Marchician's just trying to hold on to 2nd for now. He's not worried too much about Jesse. He's got to worry about Alex. Roman's got the lead, or the gap, down to 1.1 for him and Moda. So he's closing in on Moda. Roman is the fastest car on the track. At least he should be. He was during practice and qualifying. So you assume he's going to be one of the fastest cars on the track, if not the fastest. You see the flame shooting out of Andre's car there. Pretty awesome effects that this sim has for night racing. All the sparks and fireballs shooting out of the exhaust and everything else. Really makes it fun to watch. Alex getting a little bit of the curb there. Let's take a look on board with Roman. Roman's now just about within reach of Alex. See what he can do. And Mike Doherty is a little ways behind Roman, and it's not a big gap, but on this track, it's such a fast track that it's big enough. He's got Kyle Macedo all over him. Kyle trying to do something with Doherty after that mistake earlier where he ended up off the track. See him get a little bit of a run on Doherty right there. He's coming down the inside for the next turn. Tight set of turns right here. Overshoots a little bit, but able to make it stick. So Doherty falls in behind him. Mike Doherty is one of our fastest drivers, but he hasn't really been in the top with it when it comes to this group for this track and nighttime combination. It seems to be a little tiny bit slower than his average pace. He's usually in the top 2, top 3 pace-wise, but he's just a little bit off here compared to where he's been in other tracks. Let's get back to the front. So we got Moda still on Marchician. Jesse Albert's starting to pull a little bit of a gap now for the lead. Roman's still 1.2 behind Moda. Yeah, he's falling back just a little bit, so see Jesse up there leading kind of all by himself, got a little bit of breathing room. If Moda's going to catch him, he's got to find a way around Marchician, because Andre doesn't quite seem to have the pace that Moda has right now. Well, as I say that, Andre does a great job of keeping him at bay, so maybe Andre's finding the pace again. He was doing really well earlier, and then he kind of seemed to slow up a little bit, maybe overdriving the car a bit or something like that, just a little bit slower, and allowed Alex to really get on his heels. These guys both have to settle down and go try to catch Jesse, because Jesse is trying to run away with this thing. He's got a pretty good gap now. He's up to 1.4 seconds. Now Roman has caught up to Moda just about. He's only 0.782 behind him now, so he's closed that gap down quite a bit. See if he's within reach of the slipstream here on the front stretch. Looks like he's going to be just out of reach, not going to be able to get the slipstream to catch him. Meanwhile, you see Moda looking down the inside on Marchishin. He's going to send it down and go over the curb. A little bit of contact there maybe, but pretty clean, and gets the position. Let's take another look at that from the onboard. So you got Moda here in the slipstream of Marchishin, just sends it down the inside, gets up on the curb to avoid Marchishin, and able to make it stick. Now the question is, does he have anything for Jesse? Can he catch him? See Moda get a little bit of the curb right there. That kind of jumped the car a little bit. You don't want to see that. We know he had an incident last week with a similar curb to that, where he ended up in the wall because the back end of the car kicked out on him. So we definitely don't want to see that. Meanwhile, back behind this, Roman trying to get past Marchishin. Marchishin pulls a little bit of a gap back. Kyle Macedo is back on Roman, so these guys started out the race running neck and neck, and here they are again. But it's not for the lead at the moment. We're only running about 17 laps tonight at this race, so we're 7 laps in, not a ton of time to make up positions here. As you can see, even on board with Kyle, he can just see the leaders up there, so he's not that far off, and we know he's got the speed to catch just about anybody on the track. He's definitely pushing right now. All these guys pushing hard, trying to catch the car in front. Whoa, Roman goes over the grass right there. Doubt that was intentional. Lucky he was able to hold on to the car. Meanwhile, let's look back a little ways. We got Jon Snow trying to catch Mike Doherty for 6th. So this might be a really good battle too. Probably the 2 most consistent drivers in the league. Battling it out for 6th place right now. Neither of these guys has really had the speed at this track that they have shown at other tracks, but these guys are still really good drivers. David Macedo, he's about 2.5 seconds behind Jon Snow. Joe Marsiglia is behind him. He's fallen back to 1.9 seconds behind David. Then we got Pedro, who's quite a ways back. He's kind of in no man's, well, he's not in no man's land. He's got Driveman on the back of him that he's got to deal with. That's the battle for 10th place. And then Driveman has Evan Miller behind him. So these guys are all battling for position back here. Samuel, I think, is a little ways behind. Yeah, I don't think he's in a battle with anybody right now. Let's jump back up to the front. We got Alex. He's just about caught Jesse Albert now for the lead of the race. See just how smooth Alex is around this track, just really, really smooth. As I say that, he almost loses the rear end of the car, but there's a reason he's caught up to Jesse, and that's just because he's extremely consistent here. Meanwhile, Vroman, oh, Marcheshin is off the track. What happened to Andre? We got Andre here in front of Vroman. Goes a little wide through the turn there. Vroman makes the move down the inside. Marcheshin, it's basically a drag race now, trying to hold it around the outside. Oh, and somebody gets into the back of him. That's Kyle Macedo. Kyle Macedo gets into him there. That's going to cost Marcheshin the position battle he had going with Vroman. And it's going to cost Kyle too. So now Vroman has got some breathing room. The closest person behind him is Mike Doherty, and he's quite a ways behind him. So Vroman's got some room to breathe. And he's got Moda and Albert in front of him. We know Jay is the fastest guy on the track. Let's see if he can catch the leaders and make this a three-way battle for the lead. Nice and steady through there. He's got a ways to go to catch these guys. He's about 2.4 seconds behind Moto right now. We'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, Moto still trying to catch Jesse Albert. Albert gets a little loose there, runs wide. Able to maintain his speed. So Roman is 2.1 seconds off of this battle. So let's keep an eye on that time split, but where he's at. Jon Snow is still 1.4, well, pretty much 1.5 off Mike Doherty. David Macedo has caught Andre Marcheshin. Marcheshin had a really unlucky break, getting bumped off the track there by Kyle Macedo. That's unfortunate for him. So now he's in the battle for 6th place. David showed a ton of speed last week at, oh boy, where did we race last week? Drawing a blank. Anyway, last week's race, he was extremely fast, ended up finishing 2nd, had a fantastic race, but he hasn't quite shown that same speed here. We'll see if he can, he's still got one day to figure it out. One day to figure it out before Saturday night's race. All right, let's get back to the front. Alex still trying to hunt down Alex Moda trying to hunt down Jesse Albert. Excuse me. Whoa, Jesse gets loose again. That's going to let Alex catch up to him right here. Right on the back of Jesse Albert right now. We saw Alex make that move earlier down the inside at turn 1. Would he try that on Jesse here? guys have both ran a great race. Meanwhile, behind them, Roman has cut the lead down to 1.6 seconds to Moda, so he's almost caught up to this battle for first. No doubt happy these guys are battling it out, slowing each other down a little bit. You see Alex around the outside there. Wow, did he get that move done? He did get that move done. Great pass right there by Moda. So Albert's now in second. Roman has pretty much caught up to these guys now because they're in the process of fighting it out. See Albert kind of showing the inside and then diving back in behind him. Albert showing the inside again, way down the inside, tight on the first turn. Able to make it stick though. And now Roman trying to take advantage of Moda being a little bit off the racing line, but unable to take advantage just quite there. Really good racing by all of these guys. Let's take a second to look back at Jon Snow. He's just about caught up to Mike Doherty. Excuse me. Snow is the kind of guy that once he figures the track out, he is hard to beat. We saw that at Laguna Seca. Everybody was kind of struggling with Laguna Seca. John figured it out, got his setup right, and he ran away with that race. He was so far ahead, he was never under challenge at all throughout the whole race. After like the first lap, he never saw a challenger again. And you know, if he can figure this place out, he's going to be right up in the front battling with these guys. You see Kyle Macedo is on David Macedo. David runs wide as we switch over, and Kyle's going to take the position. Andre's kind of by himself. Let's get back up to the front. So Alex is all over Jesse once again. You see Jay fell back just a little bit on Moda, trying to get back in the hunt with these guys. I thought maybe Jesse had given up the lead for good when Alex finally got him, but showing some resilience here. He's done a really nice job reclaiming the lead and being able to hold Alex off. Jay, we know he's really, really fast here, but I don't know how he's going to pass either one of these guys. These guys are not easy to pass. They're both really fast, and they're both, you know, probably some of our more aggressive drivers, a little more risk-taking than some of our other guys. We'll see what he can do against these guys, or if he can do anything. Let's take a look at the TV camera here. Whoa, you see Moda go over the curb there, really get a lot of bounce going on in that car. That's not good. Got to be careful with that. See, Jesse's pulled a little bit of a gap on Moda now. Roman is about the same distance off of Moda, so I think Jesse might have just been fast rather than Moda being slow. You see Jay get a little bit loose coming out of the turn there. Coming down this long front stretch. You see Roman kind of showed the inside but didn't go for it, but that caused Moda to get defensive. Let's take a look at that again. We've seen Jay do this before. Kind of fake like he's going to dive down the inside and then never actually do it. You see Moda get defensive, kind of move to the inside to defend, but it causes him to run wide, and then Roman takes the inside and just takes the position. So a great setup and pass there by Jay. can he do anything with Jesse Albert? I mean, he's going to have to worry about Moda, who's all over him right now. Right on board with Moda here for a minute. Now we're 13 laps into the race, so there's not many laps left. I think there's only 4 laps left in the race. So if you're going to make a move on either of these guys, you got to do it quickly, but it's not going to be easy because they're not going to give it to you. Let's take a look back for just a second. We got Jon Snow. Wait a minute. It shows Snow right behind Doherty, but that's a mistake. I'm not sure where Doherty actually is, so that time split must be wrong. Joe Marsiglia is close to Andre. It's about the only battle going on back here in the back right now. We do have Evan Miller on Pedro, but he's about 3.5 seconds off of Pedro. Don't know if he's going to quite be able to catch him by the end of the race. We got Joe Marsiglia trying to catch Andre Marchishin. Meanwhile, Moda, Roman, and Albert are still battling it out up here in the front. About 3 laps to go. You see Roman getting nice and close to Albert there. Alex kind of falling back off these guys just a little bit. Roman trying to keep the pressure on right here. See Alex take that curb one more time, just not afraid to send it right over that tall curb there. No problem so far, just scary to watch, but he's doing a good job of holding on to it. Roman has really got the pressure. Let's take a look on board with Roman. He's really all over Albert here. Oh, gets a little loose there. It's going to let Albert get a tiny bit of breathing room, but not much. You see in the rear view there, Moda's catching back up to Roman. Here he comes down. They're coming down the front stretch again. We'll see what these guys can do with this slipstream. Roman gets a good run out of the last turn there. You know Jesse kind of winds in and out on the front stretch typically. Roman shows the inside. Not quite close enough to try to make that stick. Just kind of looking down the inside, I guess. You see Roman's fastest lap is a 1:45.252, so he has really set some quick laps around the track tonight. He was able to come back all the way from 4th or 5th to get back up to challenge for the lead. Oh, you see Jesse kind of gap him right here with a couple laps to go. Pretty good move. Suddenly these 3 guys are kind of spread out. Moda just trying to get back in touch with Roman, so maybe he has a shot at him right at the end of the race. Meanwhile, Calmacedo is just about caught up to Mike Doherty. David Macedo is quite a ways behind them. Joe Marsiglia is still on Andre Marchishin. Close battle here for 7th. And Evan Miller just about caught up to Pedro Perez. See if Pedro can hold on to it. This battle for 10th place. Meanwhile, back in the front, the war rages on. You see Roman not really chasing the slipstream, just letting Jesse do what he does. See Moda really send it into that long braking zone. Does a good job catching up to these guys. Now Broman is right on the back of Albert. He's caught back up to him in that braking zone there. All three of these guys, 1, 2, 3, battling it out. This is the last lap of the race. This is it. So it's now or never. We certainly discourage these guys from doing anything too drastic, you know, dive bombing down the inside or doing anything overly aggressive. But, you know, sometimes in the heat of the moment, your ambition to win gets the better of you. So we'll see what happens here. Do this nice slow section here. Roman, he's definitely put a lot of pressure on Albert. Albert is held up under that pressure. Moda's been pressuring everybody all race long, and he's been under pressure all race long just about. So all these guys running a fantastic race, doing a great job. See some slow traffic up ahead there. I think that's Samuel Rock, but I could be wrong. Coming into the final turn, hopefully he's not going to be an issue here. It looks like they're going to be able to deal with him. Coming around for the checkered flag. So it's going to be Albert, Vroman, and Moda coming through. Meanwhile, we got Mike Doherty here coming around to get 4th. Kyle Macedo is going to get 5th. David Macedo running in 6th. Andre Marchishin in 7th, and apparently something happened to Joe because he fell back off of Marchishin at the end there. He's going to finish 8th. John Snow had an incident or something happen earlier because he fell way back off of Doherty. He's going to finish in 9th. Evan Miller did get Pedro Perez late in the race. Let's see if we can find that pass. Way back to the couple laps ago, or a lap ago. So Evan Miller, Pedro runs wide, takes his time getting back onto the track, and Evan's just able to take the position. So that's for 10th place. That's going to give Miller the position there. All right, so back to the beginning. We are going to ride on board with, I think we'll ride on board with Andre, because Andre starts in 5th and somehow ends up in the front. I always say a great race can't happen without a great start. So these guys put on a great show tonight. Let's take a look at how it all started from 5th place. So you see the lights green there. Everybody's off and racing. See Andre looking down the middle a little bit here. Not a lot of room there coming into turn 1. See Albert hanging on the outside as Moda's looking to scoot inside of him, but he's going to be on the outside on the next turn. Albert's going to take the position. Marchishin just barely, and Albert gets loose there, almost loses the tail end of the car. That's going to cause Moda to fall back, and that is how Marchishin ended up in front of Moda. We didn't know how that happened earlier. But Moda just trying to stay out of an incident there with Albert gives up the position. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. We will have our points race tomorrow night. It'll be up on YouTube sometime around Monday night. We look forward to whatever happens. We'll go over the points before the start of the race, and then we'll talk about the points after the race, after Saturday night's race. We have pretty exciting race coming up tomorrow, or tonight, excuse me, with these guys. So thanks for watching. There will be a link to our Discord in the description of this video. So if you want to join us, come be part of the league, join us in our racing. We are always on the lookout for more clean, fast drivers. But even if you're not that fast, that's okay. We'll let you learn with us. You can run in the middle or the back of the pack and get better slowly. We have several guys in the league that will help you with your setups, help you with your driving style, your driving skills. We kind of take pride in helping newer drivers get better and improve themselves. So many of the guys in this league are not where they started with us. They have improved a ton since the start of this thing. So, and you can join the championship in the middle of the season also, so you don't have to wait till the next season. You can join anytime. So come on out and join us. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on Saturday's race.